Rich is in the house. We're about to run down our sports topics for the next couple hours on Unfiltered. First thing first, we was chatting about it before we came on. We're gonna hit y'all a little bit of boxing and UFC talk. I know it's gonna sound messed up, but the world's talking much different to me at this moment with the Floyd Conor thing. I'm gonna start off with the news that apparently Manny Pacquiao wants a rematch against Horn for his title. I'm right now lost for weight class of the title. I just know it's a WBC title. And I would like to see the rematch, but I never got Pacquiao lost the first time.
Nah, he won that. Didn't even knew about it. The announcer was like, "Do you think you won that fight?" And he just went to like the textbook response to that. Oh, it was a good fight, good fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that was one of the, like, I don't get to see a lot of boxing, or at least good boxing, because of the pay-per-views and my lack of paying for matches I don't see. But I tuned in that Friday night, so ESPN, Pacquiao. I do not.
That doesn't happen.
And unless the hometown is New York, Vegas, or something, you don't need to be going to go box people in their hometowns, because this is what happens. Like, what was it, Melbourne, Australia, or something like that?
Yeah, exactly.
So, when's the last time you seen a boxing match in Australia?
Never.
So. But like I said, I hope they do the rematch. Like, it's nothing against Horn. It wasn't like Horn embarrassed himself in that boxing match. It wasn't like he was that bad.
He just wasn't throwing like Pacquiao. Pacquiao is a mass puncher. He definitely throws way more than every opponent. And so he used to knock him out. Not so much more.
And I don't blame that.
He's old. He's an old head, man.
Yeah, but like you said, he throws so many punches that it was impossible for me to look at the points and be like, so are you just saying that he's not hitting, like, he's not significant shots at this point? Because that's the only way you can tell me that was.
He definitely won. He definitely won on points. You can tell. I went on Facebook straight after it with Pacquiao got robbed all the way down.
And so yeah, that's how I look at that. Really, the only, and I've been telling everybody, I don't know what I'm going to talk about after September when it comes to boxing, because Canelo Triple G has been what I've been waiting for a couple of years.
Who you got?
I'm a Triple G fan.
Oh, man.
Triple G fan.
Canelo, man. You see that at Kirkland? He knocked out. Dude swung it.
I'm worried about Triple G because he's gotten weaker his last 3 fights.
Oh, he's up there in age, right?
Yeah, he's like 38.
Yeah.
Who was the brother he fought in New Orleans like last year? Because he almost lost that fight.
I forget who that was.
But like I said, Triple G, like, he's entertaining me. He entertains me. He tries. That's actually why I'm kind of worried about the Canelo fight, because he might get himself caught slipping. Like, to me, this isn't like a done deal. Like, I've been with Triple G because I've been watching Triple G for a while. I respect him. Right. I think this is going to be a great boxing match. It can go either way. This is not the McGregor-Floyd argument where I'm just like, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I'm going with Floyd because he's the guy that's been boxing for the last 20 years.
49 and 0, man, for a reason.
It might not be a reason we like Mike. We might not like what we watch, but he's 49. That's it.
And he's paid.
Like, that's the thing about these individual sports, man. Everybody's mad about the lack of excitement. I'm like, these people aren't out here to excite you. They're out here to get these paychecks.
Yeah, they're trying to get this money before they go brain dead, get punched in the head 17 times, man. But I like Canelo ever since he fought Floyd. I've been a huge fan. He hits hard. He has good tech. He has great technique. I just like the way he boxes, man. He's a hitter. Books, boy.
Again, my biggest worry isn't about this fight. I think this fight's gonna be great. My worry is about what happens to boxing after this fight. Because I think UFC's fine no matter what happens.
Yeah, they're good. They have tons of talent.
But when it comes to boxing, especially
right thin, man,
it's getting thin.
Errol Spence Jr. I like him. There's a couple young bucks, but I don't see any big headliners like Floyd. You know what I mean?
And to me, for boxing, it might be better to just go get yourself like a short term, like a year and a half, 2-year contract with ESPN to keep the Friday night fights coming back and get us
interested.
Yeah, I was interested. It was Pacquiao.
Yeah,
it got me interested. But I feel like if you do the consistency, like how UFC does with Fox, with their undercards, if you do something like that, I feel like people will come back if they see what's coming. Right. But right now, I don't see what's coming.
Where need to promote boxing better. Definitely.
Slept on, man. Boxing is like the Notre Dame of sports, where they don't want to be controlled. Yes. So we're going to always have this issue.
They're going to go everywhere, right?
It's the easiest way to put it. It's the only one where people out here making their own matches.
Notre Dame.
Like, they're making their own matches. That's how Floyd works. Floyd he won't sign a contract unless he gets paid.
Right. A lot of money.
Well, I know the last UFC pay-per-view with the Jones-Cromer fight, Cromer was the only person in that whole arena outside of Dan White that made $1 million that night.
Right.
Wow. Floyd and McGregor are going to make it plural.
Yeah. Saying 100 yet? Probably.
Like, think about that. Bones Jones did not make $1 million for that fight.
That's sad.
He made $500,000 plus like a few incentives after winning.
He'll get paid in his next bout though. If him and Brock Lesnar, if that goes down.
Oh, that goes down. Man, honestly, that's why I gotta look at Dana White and say, like, what does Brock Lesnar and Jones need from you?
How are they even in the same weight class? I was about to say they can be.
Oh wait, no.
Lesnar's huge.
Wait, what's Jones is the middleweight?
I think that's heavyweight.
Oh, yeah,
They
that's
were over
heavyweight
200
because UFC doesn't have a super heavyweight.
Right.
Just like
That's okay.
Because I know the WBC and like the other boxing federations have super heavyweights, like the Klitschko brothers and stuff in boxing.
Who's that? Joshua, what's his name?
The dude that is beat Bobo?
Yeah. He's a beast. Joshua, if he would ever fight Deontay Wilder, that'd be a good head. That might bring life back to the heavyweight.
I think it's heavyweight division for boxing.
But Klitschko's how old? Late 30s, still a champion.
No, because when they both won those 2 titles across the planet from each other, they refused to box each other.
Yeah, they won. It's in there. They promised their mom before she died or something like that. They wouldn't fight for any period.
And I gotta respect that.
Right. Yeah.
But they fucked up the game for like 5 years.
Yeah. That might be longer than that. It's been a long time since I've seen a good heavyweight fight. Long time.
But yeah, like I said, Triple G Canelo, this is going to be an interesting conversation for the next few months.
Yes.
But it won't be the arguments that you see with people having McGregor and Mayweather. Like I said, I can't believe they're going to be hosting that in movie theaters. Did you hear about that?
For real?
It's
going to be big, man. What, the Mayweather and
McGregor? Think about and I was talking about this before when I first heard about it. Go to the movie theater to buy your crib.
Go to the house.
That too. But
Go order some pizza and order it on demand.
But if you go to the movie theater, let's say this, if you're from Jefferson Hills, go to the cinemas up by the Century Mall. Don't go down to Brothers.
Go to the luxury theater with the reclined seats.
And say that for my brothers. If you were in Homestead, don't go out to South Hills Village and watch it at the cinemas out by South Hills Village. It's not cool. It's just certain things. I'm not trying to sound mean. That fight is going to get fights. So.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what the colleges look like because that's the place where you can't get away from the inner pot of merging of people.
Yeah.
And the fact that
that's crazy. That's crazy.
This boxing match is going to cost fights. People are going to be upset.
You think?
Yes.
Floyd's going to win. He's going to win. It's going to happen.
It's the fact that like Skittle last week, he's fully into this McGregor box back when he was 15. He's going to be able to figure this out. I'm just
Floyd been boxing that long too, and he's older.
And the other thing is, I tell people all the time, I'm not a Floyd fan. The things that Floyd has done in his life between women and how he acts. And again, I said it purely. I think he is the OJ of the current day. I don't think he really rocks with brothers like he acts like he does. So saying that, I'm just going with the idea that he's a real boxer. I think he's going to win. But if McGregor found a way to win, I'd be happy.
No Connor. He's too big-headed. I mean, I know Floyd's big-headed too, but you're coming to another man's sport where you're 49-0, trying you. Man, you got to put a smack down on this boy. But, I don't like it.
Also, because in my eyes, Connor is still somewhat of an amateur boxing. Should this count as 50?
Yeah.
That was something I always wondered about because I noticed.
It should. It got to be. It's boxing.
I mean, the commission in that is a boxing match.
Hey, it's boxing on TV. That's what it is.
I still can't believe Mayweather tried to say they should box in MMA gloves.
That would be bad.
Yeah.
That would be all bad for Floyd. What's he? 5'6", not even 145 pounds.
That was concerning me. So did McGregor had to drop weight to get to this fight, right?
Yes.
Because we all know that Floyd wasn't going up. No.
I don't think he can. He's so little.
I thought he fought at 155 once.
155?
I thought he got it.
I weighed that in high school.
Hey now, people on that side. I'm trying not to chime in. I'm saying, I'm trying to get there. Y'all feel shit.
I can't do that, man.
Never in my life.
That weight range in a long time.
I'm gonna say, but last time I held a decent weight was playing football at 175, and that was the weight I should be. I shouldn't probably go any lower than 175.
Yeah. Too skinny.
Yeah.
All right,
Hey man, we ain't studying on him. He's the way he's supposed to be.
That's what y'all say. Shit, I'm trying to gain a little weight. I'm gonna ain't gonna be wide receiver all the damn time. Shit.
You need a couple more chicken.
That shit don't work. 148 max out. Like, that's it.
Chicken wings all day, baby.
New news. We're in the middle of preseason. Remember last week was a Hall of Fame game. Remember last year I don't think we had a Hall of Fame game because the field was fucked up. So it's different. Jerry,
Dallas
I know Dallas played.
and
I think it might have been Miami was the other team, but I know that Dallas
that
played.
too.
But also Hall of Fame, all that stuff happened last week. Shout out to Kurt Warner, LT, Jerry Jones. No matter how you feel about the Cowboys, Jerry Jones has changed a lot for football since '93 about the Cowboys. I think that's what it was. And I'm forgetting a couple other people I know. Oh, Jason Taylor. Can't forget Jason Taylor. And the wide receiver that was a Hall of Famer from the '80s. I forget your name, but I know his speech. He had a speech about Black Lives Matter and All Lives Matter. He went and said both. But he explained after that why we should try to help the inner city, why people were saying Black Lives Matter. He was the first person to have the outlet, I think the right outlet to say, yes, Black Lives Matter, yes, all lives matter, but I'm talking about the specific problem of Black men dying. And he said it, and I respect that. Because that's the most annoying thing to me about both of those movements. Is when somebody hits me with all lives matter. I'm not saying that your life don't matter. I agree with you, all lives
At this point in time, Black males, their lives matter because they're the ones getting gun. Man, we can go into that. I don't think
I don't want to go into that. My key point is I think everybody just deserves to go to court. After you do go to court and you give them their time, I can't argue for nobody. If niggas aren't making it to court, there's a problem.
Court sucks.
Yeah.
By the way.
But you should be able to get there. Like you should be able to get to that point. That's what I have
Get there. You can definitely get there. It ain't hard.
On top of, like I said, the football news, I was talking about it before Briggs came in again. The Post-Gazette came out with an article today saying Le'Veon Bell's not helping himself with the holdout, which technically, right, the Steelers cannot give him anything else but the franchise tag because they passed the deadline.
Right.
But again, there are players, good players across the league. Shepard from the Giants, Jay Ajayi from the Dolphins, Ryan Tannehill from the Dolphins. There are like 3 other players from the Dolphins alone that are missing time right now.
Yeah.
There's no reason for the amount of money that Le'Veon Bell's going to make, which is $12.5 million this year. Which Devontae Freeman yesterday just got a $41 million deal from the Falcons. He's the highest paid running back in the NFL at this point.
Who's this?
Devontae Freeman.
Okay. Atlanta.
Yeah. And to me, Atlanta is a team that has 2 running backs because Tevin Coleman could be starting with some teams.
I don't know about the Falcons this year.
Just because the NFC South has a rotating door. The last I think it's like almost 6-7 years
Is
ago.
that Atlanta, New Orleans?
Panthers and Tampa Bay. To me, it could be the strongest division in the NFL.
Because it always moves. Yeah, like you said, it rotates.
It's been rotating. Last year was the Panthers. I'm pretty sure the year before that was the New Orleans. The only team that hasn't had a shot has been Tampa Bay. And
They're all right. I like their offense, man. Jameis Winston up there.
Mike Evans and
Mike
Deshaun
Evans.
Jackson.
Yep.
And then they just got the tight end too.
Who's their
Didn't they get OJ Howard?
yeah,
Good.
starting running back is
Russell
22. Little Doug Martin, little bowling ball. Like Maurice Jones report too.
Basically. So all they got to do is figure out the defense, which I've heard they have some good defensive components on that team.
As long as they just have an average defense, that offense is good enough to catapult them to the top of that division.
Hey, because we're going to be talking fantasy. Deshaun Jackson, what I'm going to do is sixth, 7th round. I always have Deshaun Jackson on my roster for some reason because I know
Yeah, I'm dropping them by week 8.
it's usually just a flex dude because he'll get me he'll get like 2 catches and a touchdown.
He's hit or miss.
Truly hit or miss.
Yes.
Truly hit or
It's
miss.
one or the other. No gray area.
He's like a flex second receiver if I got like 5 weeks.
I'm not gonna take. Yeah, I'd say flex.
Then, like I said, that whole team's like that whole team's gonna be interesting. Between I think OJ Howard might be a sleeper for top 5 tight ends by the end of the year.
He's gonna be a beast.
So
Where do you come out of USC?
Alabama. He's the Alabama tight end. You never hear it. You never get the Alabama
Yeah,
tight
that
end.
never happens.
We get the running backs and the wide receivers and the 5th round quarterbacks.
I wouldn't even say quarterbacks.
AJ McCarron's somewhere backing up somewhere.
Who's their starter last year? He was a young buck.
I think he was a freshman.
Yeah.
So that one's a little different. Hey, look out, Alabama and Florida State, first week of the season. I think they're ranked number 1 and like number 3 in the country right now too.
Alabama's a problem. Ever since Saban got there, they're in the championship every year. Pretty much.
Hey, I can't. I mean, I'm not a big Alabama fan. There's other teams in the SEC I dislike more than Alabama. Where I can't stand watching Tennessee or Georgia at this point.
Like I used to like Georgia when they had who was there? AJ Green.
Yeah.
Stafford was there.
Oh yeah, that's when I thought Stafford was gonna be the next. Like I truly, Stafford's still there. Stafford's still
swinging.
Yeah, like to me,
He also lost all his weapons.
Right.
Calvin Johnson just ups and quits.
You hear about Calvin Johnson out there at Dolphins camp?
Dolphins. They have literally. They don't have who. Cutler just signed there.
Cutler just signed there, which we haven't talked about that, so
We'll get there. Tannehill's out for the year.
Jarvis.
Giant concussion.
Yeah.
Jarvis Landry.
Kenny Stills. I think they picked up Wheaton. I think
Yeah,
Wheaton's
Marcus
on
Wheaton. Man, that boy can't catch. He's getting right down number 11 last year, right on the ground. Boom. Like hot hands from Little Giants.
Yeah, I tried telling you back when he first got drafted, I wasn't sure. Because everybody thought he was going to replace Emmanuel Sanders easy. And I was like, everybody
more of Mike Wallace, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Long, go straight routes, catch it right here. Hands like a frying pan.
But yeah, he's down in Miami. I don't even know, like, what do we expect out of Miami if they randomly did get Megatron with Jay Cutler? Because they just got a bunch of NFC North regions.
I'd say that's like an average person. You got Jay Cutler, Calvin Johnson. I'm just gonna even them out.
And again, this is where, like, last year when Teddy Bridgewater went down,
Yeah.
I understood the going get Sam Bradford because the Vikings in that scenario still had a chance for playoffs.
Not for what they gave up. That
What did they give up exactly?
the first round pick or something like that.
Yeah. And again, it was the idea that they were trying to figure out a way to keep Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
And that they
Would let them anyway.
Right. But I have less hope for the Dolphins getting Cutler because I'm like, is Tom Brady still with the Patriots? Is Bill Belichick still with the Patriots?
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, it's like Jay Cutler ain't beating Tom Brady.
Right. Ever. He's lucky he was in the NFC.
Oh, yeah.
He can still sling the ball. Don't get me wrong. He can still swing it, but his accuracy, man. Oh, Lord.
And I watched that press conference, man. I understand that his facial expressions is not how he plays.
Right.
It's hard to get excited about a man who don't look and care about me in Miami.
He doesn't. See the meme when I'm smoking a cigarette on the sideline?
It's gonna be the 70s all over again. Picture the old videos like Teddy Bradshaw on the sidelines.
Joe Namath.
Yeah, like picture those. That's gonna be the shit. Like people don't understand that Jay Cutler is a party dude. Like he might be that quiet dude in the Indian. He's gonna be in the clubs. He's gonna be out there chilling with Ross.
He's married to that girl from the Laguna Beach, right?
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
You tell me even Miami Vice all white suits. I'm talking like that.
I don't know.
Maybe like a pink or turquoise dress shirt underneath the all white suit. I'm talking.
Hawaiian shirt on.
That's gonna be Jay Cutler.
That's
with the struggle. Remember,
God bless him.
I quote Jay Cutler said, "I do not need physical endurance, whatever, because I play quarterback." He basically said, "I don't need to be healthy because I play quarterback."
All right, so somebody 380
right,
come
you
running
have a
out.
job a week ago. Now you on your high horse.
So that's always been Jada. Because everybody's been telling Jay since Vanderbilt, that he got the arm, he got the juice.
Yeah, he can swing the ball, like I said, but his accuracy is a little questionable.
I'm just quite. I question the entire move. I understand you guys sell season tickets, even though I don't.
Who's their backup anyway?
Matt Moore's a top 5 backup in the NFL. Like if we had choices, like I would bet we'd rather have Matt Moore as a backup right now.
At most. I'll agree with that.
Like I can only think of maybe Garoppolo up in New England.
Yeah.
And I don't really know else. Anybody with the last name Count can get you by for There's like 3 of them dudes running around.
They're right, still. Didn't one of them just get signed? Over, they were complaining about it because Kaepernick still ain't get signed yet?
I think you're right. One of them got signed.
I forget.
Oh, who was the backup for the Bears last year that had him play? He got hurt after Cutler.
There's a couple.
He had like 400-yard games back to back. I'm trying to remember that dude was. There's only a few backups that I consider better than that. But yeah, like I said, that's where I'm confused about shelling out $10 million for Jay Cutler. I did hear one person say that the idea of shelling out $10 million for Jay Cutler makes it easier for you to get rid of Ryan Tannehill later. Which that's always been my big thing. Ryan Tannehill, sophomore year of college, was playing wide receiver.
That's crazy. Where'd he go? Where's he from?
I'm gonna have to check that out in our next break. But and then he started playing quarterback his junior and senior year. Then he got drafted 8th overall in the draft.
athletically gifted. What we call that. So he
So,
was gonna make it regardless.
so that's where I'm like, I never was sold on Ryan Tannehill. I was never sold on Ryan Tannehill, especially for eighth in the draft, and I never really heard of him before.
Right. Yeah, never. That's crazy.
Like honestly, I heard more about Blake Bortles from UCF because they went undefeated like the year before that than Ryan Tannehill. But Blake Bortles is done. Personally, I don't even understand what Jacksonville does to pick quarterbacks. From Blake Bortles to Christian Ponder. I know Christian Ponder was the Vikings dude.
Yeah,
Who's the other dude they got drafted the same year as Christian Ponder?
Blaine Gabbert.
Blaine Gabbert was garbage. Like, I'm sorry, like I'm an Oregon fan. I understand that Marcus Mariota is the best thing that we can have for a professional quarterback come out of Oregon. I'm a person that believes if you come out of spread offense, you put yourself behind the tool in the NFL.
Right.
There was nobody more behind than that guy, Blaine Gabbert. It was nothing worse than that when I saw him come out. He got drafted at 6. Early. And then again, like Christian Ponder, I actually had a little hope for Christian Ponder, but it wasn't a lot.
Florida State, their offense is weird. They're a run-heavy squad.
Yes.
Always have been.
You said Tannehill's college?
Yeah.
Is that what Texas A&M?
That's why, because Johnny Manziel doesn't make it either.
Yeah.
And I can't, and I know that Kenny Trill ain't gonna make it. I forgot the man's real name. But yeah, none of the Texas A&M quarterbacks are making it out. And it's weird because Alabama quarterbacks don't make it, and that's about as pro as you get.
It's another running offense. Mark Ingram and Trent Richardson, that's Scarborough from last year.
I think Scarborough's pretty good.
He's a big boy, man. He's like 6'3", 6'4", big boy, running 220 plus, I think, 200 plus.
Also, this is news to me, and this is where I'm in this, like, I think we're going to revert to the old rules for quarterbacks. And the Bears are saying that Mitch Trubisky is nowhere close to starting game day one. Which will be the second year in a row that the first quarterback picked won't start day one.
Where's he from, Trubisky?
North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina.
Okay. Yeah, he's from North, because that was the one that everybody was like talking about. And I've seen him in person. I saw him in person last year. Now, they did beat Pitt.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like that was a team that I was blown away by because of the quarterback.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I see him as a college. I wouldn't even say he's a great college quarterback. He was an above average, we'll say. Got drafted first overall. Most people haven't even heard of this guy.
Also, the Bears. I've been making fun of the Redskins for the last couple of years because I'm a Rams fan and they gave up their life to get RG3. The Bears did worse.
Yeah.
The Bears did. They traded up like 3 spots and gave up like draft picks for years. They kind of pulled the Nets. Like for the NFL equivalent of a Nets trade, like it's that bad.
And that's for old KG, old Paul Pierce, and I think that's it.
But we don't know, we do not know what we're getting from Mr. Trubisky. I have more hope for Deshaun Watson with the Texans, just because they know
he might go with you there. After what I seen last night, he looked good. Deshaun Watson looked real good. Same with Christian McCaffrey, he looked good too.
I have so much hope for it. I actually think Christian McCaffrey might do better than Leonard Fournette.
He's out of the backfield. I like him in passing situations. He can run the ball too. He's still big enough to run the ball. He's not little like Sproles or Woodhead, you know what I mean?
And I think that's it's the thing we have with white position players in the NFL is
shaky.
Running backs, we think that, and it's funny, we have this opposite thing with the white running back, it's you're gonna catch it out the backfield, do some shifty shit. When it's the white wide receiver, it's like he's the possession dude,
right? And
he might be able to run somebody over. He ain't gonna burn you. You know, Randall Cobb is fast. Jordy Nelson is fast as shit. People don't understand that.
Eric Decker's a beast still too.
Yes, I mean, he's not a Tennessee, is he?
Is that where he went? He left the Jets.
I guess he's getting rid of the.
He kept getting hurt, man. He kept getting hurt.
Well, the Titans wide receiver core is pretty stacked.
Yeah.
With Decker now, they got the dude from Western Michigan, was in Central Michigan from the draft. And they still got the 2 wide receivers that have never really became great, but they're okay.
They're young too.
Yes.
They're very young.
The oldest dude on the offense to me is DeMarcus Murray. Or DeMarco Murray.
He's probably like 29, 30 maybe.
Almost.
Maybe 28.
And I think we just look at him as older because of what happened with Dallas, but
he's just back there for a while.
Also, I'm going with the Marshawn Lynch thing with DeMarco Murray, where I count the year with the Eagles is just a break. He didn't really do anything.
Yeah, he did all right.
They did what
was that? That was 2 years ago.
Yeah, because
he split with Ryan Matthews. Ryan fucking Matthews.
Shout out to James.
Yeah,
because he was grilling Ryan Matthews right now. Remember, Ryan Matthews got benched for Brandon. I don't know where that man is in the NFL.
Who?
Oliver, the dude that was on the Chargers.
Okay.
So yeah, Ryan Matthews. There's a lot of people. Nelson Aguilar, Zach Ertz. Like
He's alright.
You're just Eagles for days, but I'm like, you look disappointed.
Ertz is alright. He just keeps getting hurt.
Speaking of people who getting hurt or we thought was going to be better, Julius Thomas is a tight end for the Dolphins this year. People have been, it's one of them toss-ups. He's so talented. We know he's talented.
We've seen it.
Like it's one of them things.
What was he in there? 1 year, 2 years?
2 years in Denver. Had 12 touchdowns each year.
Yeah.
And then
his first year, he was something else.
And his first year,
he looked like Gates out there.
It fucked up my fantasy league's waivers.
Yeah.
His first year.
Yeah.
It fucked it up so bad. It's like it was because he wasn't drafted. Nobody picked him up that way. That first game, he scored like 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And it was like the most scrambled fight. I think some people might have even tried to lose on purpose week 1 to just try to go get you.
To get that number 1 waiver.
Yeah. And it's something I've seen. Notice that some people do seem. I'm not confident enough like that. I understand if you have bad streaks of fantasy. I need to win every game.
Yeah.
I need every game. So, but I understand that some people might throw the first or second game of the season to try to get their waivers down. Like I said, I can't do that.
It takes a couple weeks to do that. You know what I mean? You don't know who's gonna be consistent. Yeah, who's gonna be consistent. Somebody could have one good game, fall off, don't play for the rest of the year, whatever it may be.
Oh yeah, I mean, because I remember my biggest mistake in fantasy was rushing the trade for Trent Richardson after he got traded from the Browns to the Colts.
How'd that work out?
Terrible. I traded for him damn near immediately. I saw the trade go across the ESPN screen. I went on my website for and I went for the trade because I was always assuming that Trent Richardson was bad because of the Browns.
Right.
Then I found out it was not that.
No field vision, man. No field vision. There's a couple videos on there that point out open bowl here, Trent Richardson there. What are you doing, dude? How did you run for 900 yards
For the first year?
Yeah, his rookie year, and probably 6, 7, 8 touchdowns, something like that. And then nothing.
And the reason I know that he's not good is Frank Gore, I did not know until a few days ago, holds the NFL record for 10 or 11 years in a row for 1,200 yards from scrimmage.
Yeah.
And I've been on the whole.
That's solid.
Yeah. One of my fantasy rules, which I broke last year with Frank Gore because I didn't draft running backs fast enough, is I don't draft running backs over 30. So I stopped drafting Frank Gore 3 or 4 years ago.
I was about to say, he's 34 now.
And I've been watching Frank Gore. I've been watching other people get Frank Gore and get this consistent 8 to 12 points a game.
Right.
And I'm just like, maybe I need to go get Frank Gore.
Just as a flex. Or a third running back just to hold there.
Right. So Frank Gore and Marshawn Lynch, even though I have no clue where his draft position is.
Yeah, I don't see him being too. I don't know. When football players take that year off, that hurts them.
But does it hurt the running back? Because I feel like every other position, right? Every other position, you take a year off, it's a problem. And running back and quarterback. Carson Palmer basically took a year off.
Yeah. Yeah, he never bounced back to what he was, but he was also getting older. He went to.
I don't think he was ever the same after the injury.
Did he go back to Cincinnati, or did he go straight to Arizona?
He went to Oakland.
Oakland, yeah, I forgot he got signed.
Because Oakland was the Browns before the Browns. Remember, Randy went to Oakland and quit.
Yeah, Jerry Rice got there. That was it, man.
He almost got that Super Bowl there.
Yeah, I was Charlie Garner, Rich Gannon. Those were starting quarterback and running back. Oh. Jesus. Old Tim Brown on that team, old Jerry Rice, Tyler Whitley was he there?
Yeah. So, this season's going to be interesting getting into this. Also, shout out to Major League Baseball for stealing the NBA's skis this weekend. Mm-hmm. They're doing the nickname thing on jerseys this weekend for the Major League Baseball.
Like the Christmas games.
Yeah. Like I said, they jacked that straight from the NBA. The NBA did that first. Even though I'm noticing, I went through seeing some of the teams. It does seem more interesting. Because there's more players on a baseball team, we get some more interesting names, especially the Latino players.
You probably haven't even heard of 90% of these nicknames.
That's the problem. But that was the issue with the NBA one, because there were some dudes that were just picking, Dwayne Wade be picking his own nicknames.
Yeah.
So there's a
what was his on his jersey? Is he not Flash or?
I thought it was Flash.
D-Wade. He is. That's his name, Flash. But what was his nickname on his jersey? Did he switch it up?
I think it was Flash. I think it was Flash. I don't think it was either that.
They didn't show any nicknames yet. What's in Cuts? What's Cuts? He's Clutch.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be like this. What they call him already? Some of them.
That's what I would have to say. I never heard him called anything else.
I was wondering if they were gonna go just
That's hard though. I do like that. That's a good idea.
Also, Shout out to the Little League player. I was reading it earlier today.
Big boy.
Yeah, well, no, not just him. Even though I shot him out too. There's another Little League player. Little League players get this thing for the TV where you can put like a little quote at the bottom for whatever you want. One player took his shot at his English teacher.
Yeah.
Told him, yeah, definitely did. He put it on there. Miss whatever. I'm looking for you. Hit me up. Like basically what it was. Like, that was his. And my thing is, who was on the TV broadcast let that slide?
Right.
You gotta let them slide. You can't be the hater that said no to that.
One time on TV.